What can you tell us about availability for tomorrow?
Pep Biel is still out, but pleasing news is he's been on the grass, so he's been doing a little bit of running, up to 70%, I think, so far. So we're still hopeful to have him back for the Miami game after the international break. Tiger Smalls and Bill Taloma, both on the grass as well. This game will come too quickly for them, but I'm hopeful that they'll be training sometime next week.
Would Pep be a little bit more of this was on the more optimistic side, or is that right at kind of the...
No, I think that's more on the optimistic side. So I think the Miami game will be earlier than what we probably would have expected, given the significance of the scan when we saw it. But his response has been really good.
What can you tell? Is Archie back?
Archie's back. He's available. He's got his visa processed. He trained yesterday, so he's back and available to be in contention tomorrow.
Is that something where, do you know how many minutes he could go? Do you think he's probably 30 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, listen, he'll be one to look at to come off the bench rather than starting a game, obviously. He's in his pre-season at the moment, so all the minutes that we can get him will boost his fitness and match fitness and get him ready for the games to come.
How fit is Harry, do you feel?
He's trained all week, so he's had 10 days of training with us now. He looks in really good shape. I'm not sure he's ready to start a game yet, but I'll get my eyes on him today and have a look.
So when you were at Villa, you got promoted. You had 12 in a row unbeaten. 10 wins in a row. Are there parallels with any parallels you can find with that team to what you've had here now with 6 in a row on the spin?
No, because there's no promotion at the end of it. But yeah, I know where you're coming from. It's one of them where I think we've just concentrated on the next game, not worried what's gone on before, and then all of a sudden you're 6 games in and you've won 6. And I always think that's the way, because you build confidence through being hard to beat by winning games. And I think the confidence has built and momentum's grown with it. It's obviously helped that only 2 of them games have been away from home. That always helps as well. But there's a growth in the squad there at the moment, and it's good to see.
We've always talked about Nathan being one of those guys who really kind of keeps things working and was the key to your defensive discipline and how well you would play defensively. What specifically about him, because he's been a part of this run of clean sheets for you guys, what specifically about him keeps you guys defensively sound?
Consistency. Consistency of performance. Very rarely he would drop below a 7 out of 10. He's got a consistency of performance. He understands the game. He knows when he needs to be his centre-back's wingman. He knows when he has to go and overlap and join in the forward part of the game. So he's got great experience, great understanding of the game, but it's definitely his consistency of performance.
It's the first time we had a chance to talk to you since the signing of Drake Callender. What was the thinking there?
The thinking was to improve the squad. There was a good goalkeeper, very good goalkeeper available. We had the opportunity to do that, and we're not just looking for this season, but the season after as well, and ahead. And we felt that was a great opportunity for us as a club to strengthen our squad.
Do you feel he's at a starter's level?
We'll certainly be pushing for starters level when he gets to full fitness.
Steve, go ahead.
Hi, Dean. I understand that you and Jamie were back in England this week. Is that a continuation of the personal matters you all were dealing with?
It was, yeah. No, we attended my father-in-law's funeral, so we were back for that on Thursday, but got back in time to train today. So we saw Paul Rick off well.
Well, condolences to the family.
Thank you.
Red Bulls have been kind of a real bogey team for Charlotte from the beginning. 1 win and 9 tries, 5 losses, 3 draws. They were a loss earlier this year during that stretch of road games. What is it going to take for Charlotte to get past this team?
Performance again, a good performance. All 11 players playing to the best of their ability or towards the best of their ability. In the 3 games that I've had against them since I've been here, they've been really close games. So I remember last year how Patrick Adjuman didn't get a penalty last year. He was bleeding assault, I think. So the games that we've had have been really close. I think the home game was just after the Leagues Cup break. Felt like a warm-up game after pre-season. But the game this season as well at their place was really a tight game. And unfortunately we gave 2 penalties away. We gave them some cheap goals. It was that period where, our individual defending wasn't great, but we're in a much better place now. So I expect a different performance for sure.
From a player's perspective, when you've had, difficulties against a team like this, do those carry in? Are you worried about, past memory?
No, because I'm not superstitious at all, to be honest. And that'll be my message to the players. We've been very close and we've performed well against them without getting the results. But I'm sure there'll be a performance there where we'll get the result.
Yeah, and when you've got a player like Tim, and you have a lot of experience in there now, does that provide extra fuel to the fire?
I would honestly expect Red Bull to be fearing coming to Charlotte. I think they'll pay us respect, but they'll know it's going to be a really tough game coming to the bank, and like everybody at the moment, they won't be relishing this game. We're looking forward to every game at the moment.
And last night, Crown Legacy put 6 on Miami. Nimfasha got the first hat trick in Legacy history. Do you see, he's still so young. Do you see him having any chance to come up to the first team, as crowded as it is in his position?
Yeah, we're always hopeful that there's a pathway there for them to get through. I watched the game last night and they were excellent, and they could have scored more as well. The performance was really good. It wasn't just the goals from Nympha, because he came on a sub last night, but it was his work rate, because the previous game, I think we conceded the 3rd goal and he gave the ball away midfield, and I didn't like the reaction and spoke to him, and I've liked the reaction from him coming on the pitch, and then he worked extremely hard with and without the ball last night. And when you do that, you got the chance of scoring goals, and he got 3 last night. So really pleased for him, and Gary Dicker as well, who I think they deserve to be in a better position. The football that they've played, they've probably not scored enough goals this season, and letting too many over the last 3 or 4 games. Yeah,
their previous 3 were tough, but they scored as many as they gave up in those games to come back. Are there any other players from Legacy that you've been impressed with?
I think Koulibaly's played well. I think he's been performing extremely well, covers loads of ground, breaks up the ball from the opposition. His use of the ball has got better. Thiago's come back into the team and scored 2 goals the other week, and he's done well as well. So there's a number of players who are playing well.
Okay, thank you.
Cheers. Thanks, Steve.
Carol?
Good morning, Dean.
Morning, Carol.
I feel like it's not really fair I haven't had coffee and you're still on English time. So.
No, I slept most of the way here, so I'm off English time.
Okay. Speaking of Nympha and Archie Goodwin, you seem like maybe you're the kind of guy you're rolling up your sleeves and coaching young players. Like this is this something you relish, a chance to mold and shape and teach these guys?
I just think the way the MLS is set up with the salary cap, there's going to be good deals for younger players, and our job as coaches is to help them develop, and I think we're really good at developing youngsters. I think that's just been shown by the fact that Patrick Adjuman got sold to the Championship. Adilson's been sold, both for significant amounts of money as well. So our job is to develop players, help them get better, and when you do that, the team gets better. So there's a specific age group that we can look at that can help boost the squad. But you have to balance it with a little bit of experience as well.
Is Calendar in practice yet?
Yeah, Calendar's training. He's training at the moment.
Okay. Was that something you felt like the need to sit down and talk with with Callie ahead of that, or you just let it naturally work itself?
Yeah, no. Just naturally let it work itself out. I'm not going to go and pull Ashley Westwood if I'm bringing in a centre midfielder or anything like that. So I don't see the need with a goalkeeper as well. I think players thrive on competition. I've always said that. You've got to be at your best to keep your shirt. And that's what I want from this squad. I want them to be competitive all the time, pushing to stay in the team.
And last for me, just the way the midfield is playing and the team is building without Pep. Is there something else you'd like to see them do? Are they adjusting there?
Yeah, I think we obviously lose that little bit of creativity that Pep gives us, an eye for the pass in the final third. So, a little bit of improvement. I thought the first 20 minutes last week, I thought we tried to go into Idan a little bit too quickly. And I felt we should have played between the lines a little bit better. So that's something we'll look to do this weekend.
Okay, cheers, Dean.
Thanks, Carol.
Willie?
I did want to ask you about Adi. It's advantageous for you that you get him back. How important was that? Because I know that you were probably reticent to sell him this window.
That was the only way the deal would be done. If somebody was not going to loan him back to us to the end of the season, then he wouldn't have gone. That was an agreement that we'd done when he signed his last contract. That if he was to be sold, it wouldn't be until the end of the season unless somebody would loan him back. And Adi was quite happy with that as well. And, I'm hoping that we can finish successfully for Adi because he deserves that. The growth that he's had and the development as a player and as a person, I think everybody here can see he's become a leader of the team as well. And, it was inevitable that somebody would come knocking. What
are your thoughts about where he's going?
Middlesbrough, good club, big club, I'm surprised that a Premier League team didn't come sniffing or one of the top French teams as well. But it is what it is. It was a significant amount of money that the club couldn't turn their nose up.
Did the loan back maybe limit the scope of teams who wanted to come?
There would have been teams that would have come in for him, but if they weren't prepared to loan him, then it was a non-negotiable.
How satisfied are you of the business you guys have done in terms of the incomings and outgoings?
Yeah, I'm satisfied. I think we're building the squad well again. It's a competitive squad, and it needs to be. And there's been some significant amounts of money that have come into the club for the players who we've developed, which is really pleasing to see. And it also, I think players now will look at what's happening at this club and think that could be a good place for me to go and develop.
I know that this is probably more of a question for Brian, but Wyatt Holt was named the Academy Player of the Year, and I saw you at his celebration. What does it mean to kind of continue to have that pathway churning?
I think it's really important, and I do keep saying the club is only 4 years old, so academy players, it will take longer for them to actually start coming through. But we're probably getting to that time in the next couple of years where they should be coming through now. So it's great to see the progress that young Wyatt's made as a young age. The amount of games he's played as a 16-year-old is incredible, really, in the second tier and the MLS Next Pro. But we've got some really good young players who've been well coached and developed, and that's really good for the club.
Dean, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.